Hello, Heat Seekers. It is Billy back here for another extra hot episode of the Heat Sheet. I am joined on this occasion by the owner, proprietor, Big Cheese. I think I used the same verbiage last time I did this, but still, I like it. I'm joined by the owner of Attitude Pro Wrestling. It is the Wanderer himself, the Wanderer.
How we doing, guys? Don't worry, there's no need to fear because the Wanderer is here. And today we are promoting Bound for Wishaw, which is live next Friday night, March the 29th, at the Rivals Gym in Wishaw. So, looking forward to the show and excited to jump on the show today to talk about the show. So, yeah, Billy, thanks for having me.
You have a stacked lineup for Bound for Wishaw, so we'll go through that in a little bit because we've had I've spoke to you before. So for those that are unaware that are
Yeah,
just on the Heat Sheet, I've had I've had the Wanderer on SWM podcast before. That was before the first ever Rugby Mania, the Scheme Spectacular
yeah, that's
itself.
correct.
That was May last year. God, time has flown. It's coming up to a year
I
since we
know,
spoke about that.
time's flew by. Can't believe it.
I absolutely can't believe that. Yeah, oh, Jesus, 10 months since. But Rivals Gym and Wishaw, it's seen some wrestling in the past as well, but Attitude Pro Wrestling are coming to show a little bit of a scheme spectacular of their own at the Rivals Gym. So it's bound for
Yeah,
Wishaw.
that's right.
I love the titles for your shows, to be honest, because they're like playfully parodying you big show names, of course, Bound for Glory as the example here, WrestleMania, Survivor Series. We'll talk about that before we wrap up as
Yeah,
well. So
yeah.
I like the little homages to the big shows in the US. Is that something that's just have you always kind of had that kind of pun thought when you're thinking of show names? Is it just like what would be
Well,
good?
to be honest, it's more just to have a bit of fun and the likes of WrestleMania, SummerSlam and stuff. You know, they're actually big shows, probably the biggest shows that you'll see all year. And I like to add my own little spin into it. That's pretty much what I like to do. Just use these shows as inspired feet. Like my shows are inspired theme shows for these ones.
Mhm.
So if that made sense, sorry I went a bit of a tangent there.
That's all right. I understand why you went for Bound for Wishaw when we're looking at this card, though, which like I said, we'll get into in a minute or two. So this is show four, if I'm right in thinking that. We've had Ruggy Mania,
Yes,
Ruggy
that's
Slam, and
correct.
Ruggy Rumble.
Yeah, that's correct. This is our fourth show, and this time it's in a different area. So this is obviously a huge challenge for me. Uh, I've wrestled in the Rivals Gym before. The Rivals Gym is where I actually made my return to wrestling after 2 years off. In fact, it was almost 3 years, I think. Uh, so that's when I had my return match in the Rivals Gym. It was a great time. The crowd were great, and it was a great venue for wrestling, especially. And obviously, the promotion that was there before is no longer running. So I thought I can't let this venue miss out on more wrestling, better wrestling as well. So I thought I'd bring a show to it and see how it goes, and hopefully this is the first of many shows in the Rivals Gym.
And we're talking about names as well. Rivals Gym for a wrestling show. That just seems like it has to go together. I think it's mainly a boxing venue, isn't it? And do quite a lot of boxing there. But
Yes, so it's the Rivals Gym. It's a kickboxing school. It's more. It does all martial arts, but it's mainly a kickboxing gym. So they normally host a bunch of kickboxing events and boxing events and stuff, and it's always a great night. They always draw great crowds. There's a bar and everything. It's a good night. So I think wrestling there it just fits perfect. It's the perfect venue for a wrestling show.
so what we do know about this show, we'll delve into the match a bit more, and we're gonna have two new champions. So you crown two new champions at Rugby Rumble, the first ever APW Women's Champion, Scottish Women's Champion, and the first ever APW Scottish Heavyweight Champion as well. Um, is what's their thought with bringing in championships at this stage, bringing in two new championships as well to round off? Was it just how? Yeah. What was your thought process about bringing in new championships so early on into Attitude Pro Wrestling?
I just feel like that you need a main title which is the Scottish Championship. You need a women's title for your women's division, which we've got as well. So I thought it's only fitting into just a tag team championship uh, as well, because we've got a great tag team division in APW as well as our women's division as well. So I thought it was only fitting. And yeah, it adds more to the show as well. With the Hardcore Championship, that was actually the big strong man that introduced his WWE Hardcore Championship replica belt, and he's just taped APW over it because he never won the Scottish Championship. So he's introduced his own Hardcore Championship. Uh, so he thinks that he can walk around and call himself the Hardcore Champion. So I've decided, nah, that's not happening. You've got to earn your championship, especially in APW. So I spoke to Commissioner Wallace, and he's went and introduced a scrambles match for the hardcore title as well. So the hardcore title was pretty much the big strong man that's introduced it. But as for the main championship, the women's championship, the tag team titles, that was all my idea. It's only fitting. You've got to have a tag team division, a women's division, and obviously your main title as well.
So we will, before we actually get into the show itself, 4 shows in. Well, this will be the 4th show. How have you found the landscape of promoting professional wrestling shows? Then, thankfully, you got a good network with Ravy Davies Community Pro Wrestling and Glasgow School, because you do a lot of work there. But yeah,
Yeah.
how have you found the first few shows? Has it been? I think wasn't there quite a pitfall at, was it Rugby Rumble? That I remember rightly, there was quite a close call incident at that show.
Yes, there was a slight incident. It was completely out of our control. These things happen. I don't want to get too much into it because it's not really my place to say. But in terms of promoting shows, it's actually one of the hardest jobs you can ever imagine. Because you obviously you need to do a lot of flyering, you need to put up posters, you need to do a lot of social media promoting and stuff. It's hard. It's never ending. I work hard every day, try to build this promotion and put on great shows. But the first 3 shows have been a great success, especially obviously with a little incident that happened during the show at the Rugby Rumble. The show itself was a success. Everybody had a good time. We just had to postpone the show for an hour to make sure that someone got attended to. But other than that, the show itself was fine. Everything was all great. And yeah, the momentum keeps building up for APW. Rutherglen, the crowds that we draw there are amazing. The cards are always stacked as well. And yeah, it's a great night and for everybody to remember. But yeah, it's very hard promoting. But we've got there. The show must go on. And the first 3 have been a huge success. So the 4th one, there's no reason for it not to fail.
Absolutely, yeah. You've certainly, I mean, for your 3rd show, and then yeah, something that out with your control, and you just had to go with the punches, roll with the punches, going right. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
we
postpone
just
and
had
just
to roll with it and get on with the show as we did, and it was great. Put it this way, the good outshined the bad.
oh yeah.
Put it that way.
Because I think this is what three sellouts in a row, and now yeah, you're well just or near as damn it sellouts in a row, and no,
Yeah,
no.
three sellouts, and our next one, we've got 90 tickets left for Bound for Wishaw next week. So I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully we can get there, but if not, I believe we'll come close.
Absolutely. I mean, you'll be back later in the year, and we'll like I say everything I seem to be we're talking about later, but we will talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah. So let's get into the show then, and we'll tangent away as we need to from there. So Bound for Wishaw, take place Rivals Gym in Wishaw on March 29th, Friday. Bell time 5:30 for VIP, 6 p.m. general. Sorry, doors open, not bell time. I've written that incorrectly on the website. First bell 6:30 for general. Tickets are still available at eventbrite.co.uk. Right, let's get into it. We'll start with VIP. and work our way from there. Uh,
Sounds good.
VIP match, we've got Big Finn, who seems to be making quite a big, pardon the pun, impact at the moment, especially for
That's
yourselves.
right.
Pro taking on uh, one of my favorite wrestlers. I don't think that's a secret in Ronan King. So Big Ronan King, sorry, Big Finn, Ronan King. A little Ronan rarely has an experience advantage, which he will have in this one, but Big Finn's big and eager.
Oh, aye. He's 6'7" and he's 16 years old. So he's still got a lot of growing left in him. And he's making a lot of waves right now, especially in CPW and soon to be APW. So, yeah, Big Finn is one of the standout students at Glasgow School of Wrestling. He's been there since it opened. He's there all the time. He works very hard and he's got the right attitude for it. I've had the pleasure in helping coach him as well before he made his debut, and he's doing great just now. He debuted at the Rugby Rumble and he eliminated Monstrum, so that set a big tone for what's to come. So the VIP match, he's going up against Ronan King, who's the self-proclaimed greatest 20-year-old wrestler in the world. I'm sure you would agree with that. But
He's
I've
up there.
beaten Ronan King. I've beaten Ronan King. I've beaten Ronan King once, and I've eliminated him for the Rugby Rumble. So I'd have to argue against that there, Billy. I'm really sorry, but he is very great. I will say it. It wasn't easy, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the match. The match is going to set the tone for the rest of the show, I believe. Anyway, there's two great, talented young athletes in that match, and they're going to put on one hell of a show for the VIP ticket holders. So they've got more than their money's worth there alone just for that match, because that match could pass for on the main show. So definitely, I'm really looking forward to it.
We will say about Ronan King, I don't know that many 20-year-old wrestlers. Big Finn's 16, which that is terrifying to think he's 6'7" and he's 16.
It is.
That is
It's mental, man.
my
It's
God.
crazy.
Um, I'm not going to get that vision out of my head, but we do know that Ronan King has got a little bit of backup on this show. It's got Judas Gray's on the main card, Ashley Vega's on the main card as well. They've recently, along with SBX, has formed the Handsome Man's Club. So, Big Finn might have to contend with not only Ronan King, but if King decides to bring the rest of the Handsome Man's Club, it could be a very, very interesting dynamic. And that's just for the VIP ticket holders. That's not even for the main card that have skimped out and not paid the extra couple quid.
I never thought of that one, Billy.
Oh, I'm sorry,
But
Ronan. I've given you your plan away. That's my apologies.
well, you've just let the Wanderer know it now. Now the Wanderer's going to be there to back up his pal Big Finn. But to be honest, I don't think Big Finn needs my backup. I think Big Finn's got this in the bag.
Mhm.
But it won't be easy because Ronan King is one hell of an athlete, one hell of a wrestler. And yeah, it's a good test for Finn as well, going up against one of the best in the country today.
Fantastic. So on to the main card. We'll start with your match and work out so you get all the energy and bluster out from your
Okay.
your, your just your workout. So you're up against Mayhem Brooks, who assaulted you. That's the long and short of it. He
Yeah,
attacked
that's
you.
correct.
The footage went out on social media. Mayhem Brooks from up in Elgin. I think he's officially is Elgin now. I think one time I spoke to him, he said he was. He was in Labride, which is like 5 miles away. It doesn't count.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but now he's Elgin based, and I should say that I've got to support the hometown favorite, but I can't respect a pre-match assault. That's one
That's
thing.
okay.
So Mayhem Brooks, he's starting to really break out. Last year or so since show's return, there was a little bit of a testing period where he was kind of getting back into the swing of things. But the last year or so, he's won titles elsewhere. He's been put in big performances. Was he? If I remember, was he the runner-up at Rugby Rumble as well? Um,
Yes, he opened the rugged up. He opened up Ruggy Mania, the first one. He defeated Leighton Buzzard and Robbie Cardwell. Uh, He outlasted five all great competitors in the scramble match at Rugby Slam. And yeah, he was number 30 in the Rugby Rumble. And I'd say he almost won it. But unfortunately for him, Ravy Davies too good. But yeah, that's how he's mad at me. He's mad at me for apparently not giving him the opportunities that he deserves or he feels that he deserves. Uh, However, I feel like he has got the best opportunities.
I'm just saying, yeah. He's been in the ring with Leighton Buzzard, and that was
Yes,
that's which is a big deal because he doesn't. Leighton Buzzard's not really wrestling in Scotland as often now, with his opportunities down south and across the world.
he was
Uh,
the ICW World Champion. Yeah, that was a big opportunity for him, and he went in and he defeated him. So I'll give him credit where it's due. The guy can fight. Uh, But yeah, I don't know why he took it all out of me. He also eliminated me from the Rugby Rumble. I wasn't the best that night. Uh, but yeah, he eliminated me for the Rugby Rumble, and he's still mad at me because he lost. He's just a bad loser. He's not used to losing, and yeah, he feels like he deserves a title match against Ravy Davy. He feels like he should be getting the title shot at Bound for Wishaw. Uh, but the way I look at it, he had his shot and he failed. So he's got to earn it again. So he's getting up against me at Bound for Wishaw for the first time ever. Now, Mayhem Brooks, I know your weaknesses is what you're quick to forget if you're listening right now. I trained with you. I was there for the day you walked in and started wrestling training. I was there for day one. I know your weaknesses. So we're going to see what's going to happen at Bound for Wishaw because you've unleashed a whole other side of the Wanderer. And you're quick to forget as well. The Wanderer's done a wee bit of martial arts here and there. Not too much, just the wee basic fundamentals and that. So, yes, it's going to be a tough fight. It's going to be a tough challenge for me. But listen, pal, I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's put on one hell of a show for all those rowdy Wanderer fans that will be in attendance. So, yeah, the winner goes up against Ravy Davy and Joseph Connors for the APW Scottish Championship at Rugby Mania 2. And you best believe that I'm going to be at my best that night because winning a championship in Rutherglen is everything to me.
and I mean, last time, like I said, last time he eliminated you from the Rumble, you had probably other things on your mind, not only the show itself, but I saw the photos of a big moment in your life, getting down on one knee and after the show. So you had other things going on. Now you're solely focused on Mayhem
Yeah,
Brooks on this
that,
night.
that,
So
that that's right. And also he took something away from me as well. Winning that title, winning that Rugby Rumble meant everything to me, and he was the one to take it away from me. So this is personal, and I'm really looking forward to it. I've been training hard. I've been training twice a day, 5 days a week. I've been eating right. I'm ready. Grapzilla, let's do it. Let's put on one hell of a show because you're going down, pal. You're going down.
let's move on to the rest of the card then. So we've got the match that was changed not long ago. It was Stanislav initially against Saqib Ali, but Ali has suffered injury, and
Yeah,
Nick
yeah.
Justice is stepped in. And I don't know a lot about Nick Justice. Easy for me to say, Nick Justice. My only knowing of Nick is a review I've got from one of the photographers, Kyle Watt, who's enamored by Nick Justice. So he's
Oh.
he's got a little bit of glassy eyed when he thinks of Nick Justice. Um, big handsome boy, big looking for some justice, uh, but not maybe not doing it in the right ways. Perhaps is what vibe I'm getting here. Coming up against Stanislav. This sounds like a good fun match. I mean, for us, maybe not for
Definitely.
Stan.
Nick Justice, sorry, Officer Nick Justice, he's came to APW because he wants to make wrestling safe. He wants to make wrestling a safe place from people like Stanislav, who comes out drinking his vodka. That's what he says. and he thinks he's setting a poor example to all the kids that come to the shows and look up to Stan. Now, Mr. Nick Justice, I disagree with you there. Stan has his best interest and heart for all those people that come to see him. Stanislav's a hero to all those kids. So, who the hell do you think you are coming into APW and saying that you're going to stop the momentum and keep wrestling safe for Stanislav? Wrestling's safe because of people like Stanislav.
Stan is again, we're talking about opportunities that previously for the Mayhem Brooks match, but Stan's obviously he had his match against Stone Malone for this Source Championship, came up just short. I mean, for there was a good 5 minutes where we thought he was the Source Wrestling champion, so he's got a little bit of he needs to rebuild that momentum again going forward. And I mean, Nick Justice, maybe he's handful of matches. He hasn't got that many debut in Attitude Pro. Yes, I still think it would be a big win for Stan to knock off Nick Justice, even though, like I say, Nick's got a bit more inexperience in comparison.
He's a, the thing is, but he might not have a lot of matches under his belt, but have you seen the guy? He's a big boy, man. He's a big boy. I've seen him do Olympic deadlifts, 125 kg. He picks it up, launches it up in his shoulders, and then drops it. So Stanislav, this is very serious, man. And listen, Slav King, if you're listening right now, you know I have the best interest at heart for you, and I believe that you can go far, but you've got a big challenge ahead for Nick Justice. Believe me. But however, I think Stan can wander out with a victory. I believe in Stanislav. It won't be easy for him, but a couple of shots of vodka and he's ready to go. He goes from here to here as soon as he's had those shots. So, Nick Justice, I believe Stan's going to get you in this match.
Maybe a couple extra shots just to numb the pain if he's getting
That's right.
Thrown about.
But it won't be easy. As I say, Nick Justice, he's a big boy. He can launch Stan about, but I think Stan, with the experience and stuff, I reckon he can outsmart them.
Find out. So we talked about Monstrum when we were referring to Big Finn throwing Monstrum out of the Rugby Rumble.
Right.
He's up against Joe Hendry. Now, this is where I thought this is where the Bound for Wishaw name comes from. Of course, TNA's own Joe Hendry, former digital media champion, probably one of the greatest, certainly one of the best exports Scotland's had.
Definitely.
Before we talk about the match itself. Joe Hendry, of course, he seems to have quite a good relationship with yourself at the Glasgow School of Wrestling and Community Pro. How important is that to nurture? Because I mean, Joe Hendry again doesn't wrestle often in Scotland nowadays. Discovery, who owns Discovery, but Discovery and yourselves and Community Pro seem to be like the wee triangle of companies he regularly will or hopefully will regularly work for. So, how is it trying to get to? I don't know what the question is here, but just to have that relationship with Joe Hendry that can maybe open further doors for your students and beyond.
You know, it's an honour and a privilege. Joe, great guy, have a lot of time for him. Very good businessman as well. I believe we can do really good business together. And obviously he's a phenomenal athlete. He's a TNA star as well. So he brings more eyes onto my product as well as Davey's product and so on and so on. So I'm really looking forward to having Joe on the show and hopefully have Joe in many other shows going forward. As you said as well, Joe doesn't wrestle for a lot of places in Scotland anymore because, quite frankly, he doesn't need to. He's got TNA, he's wrestling in other countries and stuff. He really doesn't need to wrestle here. But he obviously believes, no pun intended, he obviously believes a bit in APW, believes a bit in CPW. So he's coming in to help elevate some of the talent that we're producing. And also, he's got a great handful of students as well. So they also wrestle for us. So we've got quite a good relationship going here. I believe some of our guys can potentially wrestle for Discovery in the future. as well as his guys keep wrestling for us. Say his guys, I'm kind of one of his guys now as well because I've recently started training with Joe Hendry, and it's probably the best decision I've ever made in my wrestling career.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
He's just
because
a, he's a wealth of knowledge. Like when you hearing
he's
him in
got
the
great
podcast,
knowledge, and
yeah,
he's taken me to a whole nother level. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to hopefully having him back. But yeah, so he's debuting for APW and he's going up against Monstrum,
yes.
who's also one of his students, where a monster that he taught. So it's going to be a great match. It's going to be a big heavyweight collision, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And Joe is one of these a Monstrum, yeah, terrifying, just absolutely terrifying. But Joe is faced big guys. I think it's probably one of the first times. I think he may have had a match with Monstrum before, but we'll ignore that for a second. But it's one of the first times that he's coming up against someone who he could still lift because Joe Henry's a freak nature. But he's coming up against someone who knows Joe's teachings, so he knows what Joe will have. But at the same time, of course, Joe will know everything that he's taught Monstrum. So it's going to be quite an interesting dynamic. We've seen Joe lift up the likes of Will Cruz recently. He's throwing around Top Dollar. Sorry, AJ Francis is going by now. AJ Francis recently as well.
He's still top dollar to me.
Oh, that's it. Every time I say AJ Francis, like, nah, no, you're Top Dollar until you get rid of the dollar vest and jean shorts combo. You're Top Dollar to me then. But I think Monstrum is one of those ones where he's still big, but he's quite broad at the same. He's built like a square, and I
Aye.
say that in the most loving way, so he doesn't hurt me. But he's built like a square, so it's going to be interesting to see how Joe handles that. And I think it's going to be quite a, a, a colossal match, a match that if people haven't got a ticket already, which they should, but if they haven't got a ticket already, one of those 90 that are left, Joe Henry versus Monstrum must be the match that you go, check this out. Check this out. This big guy's
No,
gonna throw that this that
definitely.
guy.
You
Uh,
know, Monstrum, he's probably the closest thing to Michael Myers in Scottish wrestling. Uh, he's insane. Some of the stuff that he can do as well in that ring. Put it this way, you're in some sort of danger when you're in the ring with Monstrum. So I don't know who I've got for this. I'm not going to lie to you. Obviously, Joe Hendry's the guy that taught Monstrum. So you never know. You honestly never know. But I believe in Joe Hendry. So
can't believe we did that at the same time without even
I know,
prompting.
I know.
That was
I
the
just walked
weirdest
you there.
thing.
That's brilliant. So I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe Joe Hendry can take down Monstrum. However, it won't be easy, Joe. Put it that way.
No.
I've been in the ring. I've been in the ring with the monster that you taught, and it wasn't easy. He launched me a bit. So it's going to be a big heavyweight collision, and yeah, I believe Joe Hendry could
It'd be weird.
luckily come out with this victory.
I was gonna say he's coming into
Uh,
a bit of an underdog because of that unpredictable nature of
no,
Monstrum.
definitely, he's coming in a bit of an underdog. But Joe Hendry told me he wanted a challenge, so I thought there's no better, there's no better challenge than giving him Monstrum.
So now into the kind of matches that we'll look at championship. Where I wasn't aware that their match with Mayhem Brooks was a number one contender match, so that's good for me to remember when I'm writing the results. But
Uh,
winner challenges for the Attitude Pro Wrestling Women's Scottish Championship at Rugby Mania 2 is a triple threat. It's Ashley Vega, who we've mentioned already, Cassie the Lassie, and another. Well, it's had one match in TNA, but we'll count it as former TNA. Emerson Jane in a triple threat, which this is tantalizing because Ashley Vega, we know how undeniable Ashley is. She's said it herself, but she is putting in the work to prove that. Cassie Lassie
definitely.
is one of the talents coming out of Glasgow School of Wrestling,
Yes, that's correct.
and Emerson Jane, who is wrestling worldwide, Game Changer Wrestling, Europe, Japan, Eve, Rev Pro, everywhere. we were seeing Emerson Jane pop up. Um,
Right.
so this is a very interesting match of lots of experience and yeah, and triple threat. It's triple threat. So Cassie could sneak in a pin here or there. Vega could do it. Jane, it's unpredictable in nature.
Very. So you've got one of the best in the world today, which is Emerson Jane, and you've also got the best in Scotland today, who is Ashley Vega. And then you've also got the best rising star in wrestling today, that is Cassie the Lassie. Cassie the Lassie has been doing wrestling for just 1 year, and look at where she's going already. She's up against Anita from OTT. Yeah, she's great, and I believe Cassie can wander out with this victory. I've taught Cassie a few things since she started. I've seen some of the things that she can do in that ring, and I believe that she can outshine these two in this match and go on to challenge Nicole Jasmine at Rugby Mania 2.
You say, well, I don't think
However,
Ruby Roberts is going to enjoy that sentence there because, of course, it will be Nicole Jasmine versus Ruby Roberts for the title.
yeah, that's right. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So she could be going up against Ruby or Nicole Jasmine. However, well, I've just gave away my prediction. So we'll get to that. But anyways, it won't be easy for Cassie because obviously Emerson Jane's one of the best in the world. She's wrestling the biggest names in the industry. Ashley Vega as well. She's making waves just now in Scotland. She's, as you said, undeniable. So it's undeniable that she is one of the best in the country right now. However, you can't sleep on Cassie the Lassie. She's going places. And if you tell me in 5 years' time that Cassie's just been signed by WWE, it wouldn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
So you've heard it here first, guys. Cassie's going places.
The thing with, I'm sure you've taught her a thing or two here, but triple threat matches, notoriously no DQ. Emerson Jane's got that death match background. Hopefully, you're hoping that doesn't really come into play. Ashley Vega's got the Handsome Man's Club in and around the area. So Cassie's coming in not only as underdog as being brand new in her first year wrestling, but she may have a little bit of backup with like some Big Finn being about and stuff like that. But
She may have a bit of a target on her back, but I believe she can do it.
so let's talk about the women's championship match then. That segues nicely into that.
That's
Uh,
right.
Nicole, we've already got your prediction, but Nicole Jasmine making her first defense of the title since winning it at Rugby Rumble, taking on Ruby Roberts. These two had a bit of a confrontation recently about before their title match.
That's
Ruby
right.
Roberts has wrestled all over the country. I've got again, we're talking about the experience,
All over
inexperience
Europe as well.
all over Europe, of course, yeah,
Yeah.
up in Scandinavia. So she's got a wealth of experience behind her. I think she possibly has won a title elsewhere. I think she's had one title, a reign elsewhere. So she's got a little bit of experience with that. Nicole Jasmine, of course, the Dream Chaser, first title and first defense. I know who your prediction is, but we'll still talk about the match anyway.
Oh,
Yeah, what are your
definitely.
thoughts on this one?
So these two faced each other on the first Rugby Mania. It was a great match. Nicole Jasmine came out with the sneaky victory. She still won the match, but so it still counts. The week before, Ruby Roberts defeated Nicole Jasmine at a CPW show, then attacked her as well. So she was up against an injured Nicole Jasmine. And at the Rugby Rumble, Nicole's another sneaky wee elimination. She eliminated Ruby Roberts from the four-way match as well. So you best believe that she's getting side the head of Ruby Roberts now. Uh, and obviously they kicked off at Cam Glen Radio 2 weeks ago. We were on Cam Glen Radio promoting this show, and the two of them nearly had a bit of a they had a face off, but they nearly had a bit of a brawl in the studio as well. obviously get split up. But yes, there's a lot of grudges going into this match, and it's going to be one hell of a match as well. And I'm not doubting Ruby Roberts for a second. She's going into this match fully prepared, and but still, I believe Nicole can prove her wrong.
So Ruby Roberts likes to throw in a bit of submissions. Nicole Jasmine, I'm going to say I'm very creepy saying this, but it's not in that respect. Very flexible. So we'll get to see if Ruby will be able to try and break, because well, is Nicole Jasmine a basic bitch is going to be the target there if Ruby Roberts is going to be able to slay her, or is Nicole Jasmine going to keep the dream going and continue as Attitude Pro Wrestling Scottish Women's Champion? So that's
With the momentum. Sorry to cut you off.
that's
With
right.
the momentum that Nicole Jasmine has right now, I believe it's going to continue.
So we're talking about the Hardcore Championship situation earlier on. There's a 15-minute scramble match. Is it officially the APW Hardcore Championship, or is it the Big Strong Man Hardcore Championship? Is there an official name for that?
Well, it says APW on the championship, so
Technically,
it's
you're
the APW,
property then.
it's the APW Hardcore Championship. Thank you, first of all, thank you, Big Strong Man, for introducing another championship. Without me having to do it myself, you've saved me a few quid. So, aye, thanks very much. But you've still got to earn your championship if you want it back.
So we've got the Big Strong Man, we've got Frankie Richards, Thatcher Wright, very interesting. Oh, I mean, former UPW Hardcore Champion, James Blair, Cousin Xander, the current CPW Hardcore Champion, and Judas Gray, who is a little bit risky when it comes to a hardcore division as well. So
That's correct.
interesting, an eclectic mix of uh, styles and talents and everything in between. So this is one that you can't really call 15 minutes. So assuming it's whoever got the last pinfall in that 15 minutes is the new champion.
Yes.
Yes.
So anybody can win the championship during the match within the 15-minute time limit. And the person with the last pinfall, submission, or knockout before the timer runs out. When the timer runs out, the last person to get that will keep the championship. However, the 24/7 rule is going to be implied as soon as that bell's rung. So, yeah, so whoever wins the championship, you better watch yourself, because there's going to be a lot of hungry talents in the locker room coming to chase that championship.
It's gonna be a long
So,
night for them. That's what you're saying. It's gonna be a long night for not only them but yourself as a statistician for Attitude Pro, trying to keep a track, keep a tally of the champions, and it's, to be honest, Big Strong Man's giving you a bigger
that's
headache.
why I've got Commissioner Wallace introduced to take a lot of weight off my shoulder. So I'll let him deal with that.
That's his problem. That's fine. But no, looking at this, like, so we're talking about Big Strong Man's introduced the belt, not officially the champion. Frankie, you've well documented one of your best friends. I got into this one. Thatcher, a former hardcore champion. Old school cool James Blair, who's a little bit wily. Like I said, CPW hardcore champion Cousin Xander, and Discovery Wrestling openweight champion Judas Gray. So there's a lot of championship caliber involved in this, and I don't think you can even begin to call this one because of that 15-minute nature of it.
Well, put it this way: Big Strong Man, Thatcher Wright, they aren't hardcore wrestlers. They aren't hardcore at all. So right away, I don't think either of them are going to win that championship. Old school cool loves a little bit of an eye poke, so I'd wear safety goggles for every day in that match. Cousin Xander, current CPW hardcore champion. There's no reason for him not to win that match either. Manky Frankie, he's as hardcore as they come. You know what I mean? He's in fights all the time at the bar and all that. I believe Manky Frankie's got it. However, Judas Gray, he was up against Luke King Sharp in a false count anywhere match last time at the Rugby Rumble. He didn't get the victory, but he did put on one hell of a show, and he did get very hardcore in that match. So it's a hard one, but I believe my pal Manky Frankie is going to wander out with that victory and become first ever APW Hardcore Champion.
And speaking of first ever, then let's start. You know what? Segues. I'm excellent at podcast. Right. Excellent. The segues here. First ever APW Tag Team Champions will be crowned in a four-way elimination match. I've got down as Termination Z. Daro has corrected me on how to say that. I said Z in a video, and he was very quick to tell me I was wrong. Termination Z, Big Ross Hauser, Daro taking on Casino Brutal, Robert Romero, and Mike Devine. I've got Legends Never Die, Sammy Sparks, and Fulton King. And the Unwanted, JTT and Renegade Rex in a four-way elimination. This is a very interesting match again as well
Very
because
interesting.
if I'm remembering right from looking at this, none of these teams have ever been tag team champion anywhere. I don't think, unless I'm going to be just
No, no,
wildly wrong.
you're correct. So this is the first time, this is the first chance either of these teams are going to get at winning championship gold together. Uh, so yeah, we've got four of the best teams in Scotland today, in my opinion, anyways. You've got Legends Never Die, Casino Brutal, The Pack, and Termination Z. Sorry, sorry, Daryl. I won't stop annoying them with that one now. Now that you've said that, you shouldn't have told me that, Billy.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm
So,
giving away Ronan's plan, and I'm also annoying Daro. I'm not doing very well in this podcast. It's not
no,
going to
you're
come out
doing
well, me.
great. Don't worry, you're doing great. You're doing a fantastic job.
So
Uh,
I'm going through this though. Only one person has won a tag team title, and that's Sammy Sparks. So you would target won a target tag team title. So in
all
theory,
right, interesting.
he's got the biggest advantage out of these four. But Termination Z have got. I mean, a little bit of a losing streak at the moment elsewhere, but they're still pretty good as a unit. Cedar Brutal is probably one of the best tag teams in the country that hasn't won gold, in my opinion. They're just phenomenal.
Oh,
And
they're phenomenal. They're great.
the Unwanted ended the winning streak of Termination Z recently. So there's a lot going on, and that elimination thing. It's not like people are going to be stopping counts or anything like that. They'll be wanting teams out as soon as possible, as well. So,
That's
well,
right.
I don't know where to go with this one
Right.
for predictions.
Termination Z, right? They have a huge disadvantage in this match. They're going up against three other teams that absolutely hate them.
Ah,
There's a lot of bad blood between Legends Never Die and Termination Z and APW just now, as you know. So yeah, they have a huge target on their backs going into this match. However, they've overcame the odds for the last 2 years. They went on a bit of a losing streak recently. They've only lost two matches.
mhm.
I think they've got it. I think Termination Z are going to become first APW Tag Team Champions. They've had a great run of momentum over the last 2 years. It's only just fell a wee tiny bit, but listen, they've been training hard. I've been working out with them and everything. They've got this. They've got this in the bag. However, it won't be easy because they're going up against three other teams that absolutely despise them. So
Yeah,
strategy for the a strategy for the other teams. Maybe team up. They'll maybe team up with each other and try and take Termination Z out. However, have you seen Big Ross, man? Big Ross can take them.
uh,
So I believe Termination Z are going to wander out with the victory and become first ever APW tag champs.
we'll go for it. And that leads us into the final match, the APW Scottish Championship. I'm just double checking to be sure I definitely haven't forgotten anything, but I think we're all good. It's Ravy Davy defending his first defense as well, after winning the Rugby Rumble against Sammy D from OTT. Which again, we're talking about building relationships, yourself, Community Pro, yourself, and hopefully discovering the future. And it seems like you guys and OTT seem to have a little bit of a good kind of crossover as well. So bringing in Sammy D to take on Ravy Davy, that's quite a contest to throw in there for
That's a
bouncing this
huge
up.
match. Now, Ravy Davy, he's a Triple Crown champion in Scotland right now. He's got the APW Championship, he's got the CPW Championship, and the Grassroots Wrestling Championship. So, yes, he asked for the very best in this country or in Europe. So, I phoned my pals over at OTT and I asked, what is your champion doing on that day? And turns out he's free. So Sammy D is flying over to face Ravy Davies for the first time ever. And it's going to be one hell of a match. It's going to be one of the best matches that you'll see in Scottish wrestling this year. However, Sammy D has got a ton of experience behind him. Over 16 years in this business. He's just lost the OTT World Championship to Trent Seven, another hell of a competitor, one of the best in the world. No shame in losing to him. So, yes, it's going to be a huge challenge for Ravy Davy. He wanted the best. We went and got him the best. So, I'm really looking forward to this match. Predictions. It's a very hard one. I don't know if you agree with me. It's a very hard prediction. Because Sammy D is obviously fresh out of a World Championship run. And I don't know. I honestly don't know who I've got for this match.
I mean, it's really going to put the cat amongst pigeons if Sammy D wins. I mean, he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder because he's just lost the title, the OTT title, to Trent Seven.
That's right.
If he wins, he goes to Great Cumberslang Bash because it's a world championship match between him and just Joseph Connors. That could be the case. And then got yourself our Mayhem Brooks at Ruggy Mania 2. So
that's right.
A Sammy D
that's
win
right. So,
would throw everything into a bit of chaos.
No, it would, and also he's coming in for Ireland and potentially wins a Scottish Championship. So, yeah, that'll bring a lot of heat. That'll definitely bring a lot of heat from the Scottish crowd. However, Ravy Davy has overcame tons, and I mean tons, of challenges throughout his life. I believe this challenge, I believe he can do it.
Trying to think the last time a world title or a heavyweight title changed hands from Scottish to Irish, and Demo is the one that comes into my mind. Big Demo won the ICW world title. So I mean, there's precedent set, but that was in Ireland. That was on home turf, so to speak. So
we had an advantage, but you've got to remember Sammy D's at a huge disadvantage coming over here as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming into Ravy Davies territory.
That's it. Yeah, that's. I mean, Glasgow
Ravy
and the
Davies
surrounding
got all
areas.
his fans there, so I think Sammy's in a bit of a hell of a position there. Mm-hmm. However, I'm not taking any credit away from him because he's fresh out of a World Championship run. So yeah, it's a hard one to predict, but obviously Ravy Davies, my good friend, so I believe he's going to go in there and smash him.
So for those that have just joined us for whatever reason, I don't know how that's possible on YouTube. Bound for Wishaw is taking place on 29th of March 2024. Bell time 5:30 p.m. for VIP, 6 p.m. general, first bell 6:30. Tickets are still available, but will be super limited by the time this comes out. So, you know, if you can't get a ticket sold out, well, I'm sorry, we were just talking about the card anyway. Moving on to future things, because that's a hell of a show. Nine matches? 9 matches.
Yeah. 8 matches on the main show and 1 match on the pre-show. It's going to be one of the biggest cards in Scottish wrestling this year. And it's all for the cheap price of just £10 an adult, £8 a child, £25 for a family of 4. VIPs are 15, but they're sold out, unfortunately. However, you can't get a better deal than that, guys.
That's it. That's
it's going to be value. A great show. It's going to be a night to remember, and we're bringing a proper, good quality wrestling show to Wishaw to make up for last time. So, yeah, it's going to be a great night.
We won't get into that. That's fine. So there's a podcast about it. It's fine. It's mental. Right. Anyway, we'll move on. So coming from there, though, that's Bound for Wishaw. From that point forwards, we've got. I'm looking at you, the lineup you've got coming up. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So we'll start with Bound for Wishaw. It goes on to Rugby Mania 2, which is at Glencare venue. That's got Joe Henry
Yeah.
on the card. Um, we've got that, and then we've got May 31st. We've got the Great Cumberslang Bash at Legends Bar, which is going to have Joseph Connors on there.
No. Sorry.
Have I mixed them up?
Rugby Mania 2, Joseph Connors is going to be there.
Oh, damn
Great Cambuslang Bash. That's just going to have all the stars of Attitude Pro Wrestling on it. It's a smaller show. And coming up after that, we have another stat card. Our return to Wishaw on August 17th. Attitude Pro Wrestling proudly presents Rival Series in the Rivals Gym. And we went and signed a big name.
Very big name.
Very big name from former WWE superstar and, as seen on Impact Wrestling, we have none other than Hornswoggle.
Whoa!
Ladies and gentlemen, Hornswoggle is going to be making his APW debut on August 17th at the Rivals Gym for Rival Series. It's going to be one hell of a show, and we're very excited to bring Hornswoggle over. Our first import. It's going to be great.
The one of the final WWE Cruiserweight champions before it was brought back with the Cruiserweight Classic. He is.
That's right.
I've seen Hornswoggle wrestle in Scotland once. He was against and defeated
He was in
Luke King
Aberdeen.
Sharp. Yeah, he beat Luke King Sharp. So he's a wealth of entertainment on a show. I don't know what you've got planned for him, but I'm sure he will know a bit closer to the time. That's way in the future. That's August.
Yeah, I can't really say what's going to happen just now. The show's just been announced and stuff, but we'll see how it goes over the next wee while. But while you're at it, ladies and gentlemen, in the comments below, let us know who you would like to see Hornswoggle wrestle, because that always helps. There's still time, so we'll see.
Hopefully, we'll get some feedback there. And also, you announced Hard for Kilmarnock. We just got a teaser for that, though. We just got the graphic for it, but that's all we know about Hard for Kilmarnock.
We got a teaser for. I put up a teaser post for it. I announced a show, but the show had to get postponed
Right.
due to reasons out of our control. It was just stuff with the venue that unfortunately we can't run. I've tried to get all venues, but we can't do that this year. So Hard to come on. It won't be happening this year, but we're looking to hopefully get it one day, potentially next year. But yeah, it sucks because that was going to be another great show as well. We had a big name for that as well, but unfortunately we can't go ahead with it.
As soon as I saw the name for it, I thought, "Oh, that is a fantastic name, Hard to Kilmarnock. That's perfect." But yeah, hopefully next year we'll keep it.
Cousin Xander was the one that came up with that, so I don't want to take the credit. Give Cousin Xander the credit for that.
I'll be sitting back and going through the rest of TNA's back catalogue, going, how can we make this Central Belt themed? Let's go for something. that's the rest of my day now. That's it. So for those that somehow have gotten this far and there's for whatever reason there's still a ticket available, why should people come to see Attitude Pro Wrestling, and specifically why should people come to see Bound for Wishaw at Rivals Gym?
So the reason why you should come and see Attitude Pro Wrestling, we are providing some of the best live family entertainment this country will ever see. We put on very stacked cards. We have the best up and coming wrestlers in this country, and we have the best wrestlers in the country as well. So there's no reason for you not to come and enjoy the show. Tickets are cheap as anything as well, and yeah, it's some of the closest things you'll see to WWE as well. We do WWE themed shows, TNA themed shows as well. And we're looking to do something different and have a lot of fun and put on great shows.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me. Then it's going to be a big night coming up next Friday. Friday?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
next Friday,
right. Thanks,
29th.
thanks for having me back on the show, Billy. It's an honour and a privilege as always. And anytime you need me back, just let me know, and I'll be there.
Oh yeah, we'll pick up. I'm sure when it comes for rival series, we'll try and we'll aim for that. But perfect.
Brilliant.
Follow ATP on all the social medias. We'll provide links as much as we possibly can. Keep an eye out on things like the heat sheet and SWN, and we'll try and keep you up to date with everything going on at Attitude Pro. But yeah, this is bound for Wishaw. I can't wait to find out more, and hopefully we'll get to see it in the future as well.
That's right. Hopefully, it'll be up on our Patreon when we get that sorted, or something will get uploaded online. So, uh, but you won't get to see the full show unless you buy the ticket.
That's it. Great. Well, thank you very much.